ladies, gentlemen, whatever else you want to call yourself, don't care. We're back. We're here. We have stories. And the reason we took as long as we did because
Hello, ladies,
Welsh Shark
gentlemen.
went and complained, so we waited just that extra bit to make her wait. Nomad, anything you'd like to say to the people?
Oh, there's lots of things I'd like to say. Nothing out of the ordinary for the most part. I think most of you already know what I'm like.
You're
All right.
such a wallflower. You've never said anything.
I'm a kind, gentle person overflowing with the milk of human kindness. We ready to start this? Let's start off with today as we're going to go through this. All right, with a good old El Presidente. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, El Presidente now decides I'm going to scrap oil and gas lease sales as fuel prices hit new highs. Can't imagine what the effect's going to be on the oil prices, diesel prices, gasoline prices with this news, can we? The Biden administration has canceled oil and gas leases in the Gulf of Mexico and Alaska's Cook Inlet, dealing a blow to potential domestic fuel protection as gas prices reach new highs across the nation, making us even more dependent on foreign oil and gas reserves. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. MAGA himself, the guy who's going to build back better, is demonstrating the best way to build back better is to sit up there and don't let buildings happen at all. Especially things that come back with fuel oil. Because, see, we have to protect the precious environment. We're going to be protecting the precious environment by banning all human activity in these areas. The Interior Department told the Post Tuesday that Cook Inlet lease sale would not move forward because of a lack of industry interest in leasing the area. As of Thursday morning, the national price of gasoline of regular gas stood at $4.41.8%, or 8 cents rather. The highest on record and $1.41 higher at the same time last year. Hey, what was it at the same time 2 years ago? I'm just kind of curious here. Anybody that believes the Biden administration, last year they were telling everybody, all right, that inflation was temporary. All the economists were saying, yeah, there's an inflation bump, but it's going to be temporary. All these economists that they were talking to. Well, here's a question. What economists were you talking to? Because the ones that I was talking to and the people that I know were all going, no, it's going to rise much, much higher because of the stupid policies these people have. So I would really like a question. You said you were talking to economists. Can we know who these people are so we can avoid them in the future? Or are you still using these same economists, all right, for your next series of predictions?
You know that the economists he found at a local bus station and asked them questions.
Fortunately, I suspect that you're probably right. I mean,
I'm joking, but I've got a horrible feeling I might be right. That's
I know you're right.
Scary bit.
I know you're right. Excuse me here, folks. It amazes me that anybody trusts the press in this regard. All right, I'm not saying that. Remember, inflation will be temporary. There's no supply plane issue. It's all in your head. Thanks, Manny. Thanks a lot.
Oh yeah.
I forgot. It's not reality that I'm watching around me. It's a problem within my own mind. I've created it for myself.
You are twisted.
If I could just imagine gas prices at $2 a gallon, how much better would the world be?
Yeah.
If I could just wish it away, kind of like what Biden's doing. Okay, I want to talk about Biden for a moment. All right. Seriously, in all seriousness, right? He makes these comments as if he doesn't ever remember what was said in the past. And the reason for that is he doesn't remember what was said in the past. And see, the people know this. The people who are his minders know this. So they put these things up there because all they are doing is the same thing, which is they just look at the now. As if the yesterday didn't occur. As if what happened before isn't on people's minds. It doesn't exist. And the reason they believe that is because the media acts the same way, the mainstream media. Right? They act the same way, as if people aren't going to remember any of this, as if this isn't going to happen, as if somehow, no, they don't have to worry about this. Good morning, Chris. All right. Good morning, Sherardi. But we all know that this isn't true.
Oh yeah.
And the media isn't doing people a service here. What they're trying to do is they're trying to maintain their position as left-wing propagandists. I can't English. Right? He's the sad reality is he's lost. Right?
Yes.
He's completely lost. He doesn't even realize what was said before. He doesn't even remember what was happening last year. He doesn't.
Dude, he probably doesn't remember what was happening last week. I'm being serious now. Okay? I'm not joking, I'm actually being serious. There is a strong chance that he actually has to be told every day, oh, by the way, Russia's invaded Ukraine. Closely followed by the question, where's Russia?
Possibly. Goebbels would be proud. Yes. Oh, good old Joseph Goebbels, the Gauleiter himself, would be very proud of what the mainstream media has done. But it hasn't done the American people proud. It's not doing the Americans any good, right? Unfortunately. So, buckle in, folks, because it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Okay? It really is. Let's go on to the next wonderful story today. And believe it or not, we're not going to continue down the American pathway here. We're going to open up a new one. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, France condemns the arrest of 2 citizens in Iran. Really?
Oh no! Gosh!
France's foreign ministry has confirmed that 2 of its citizens are being detained in Iran and demanded their release. Oh, that'll work. Oh, that'll get the Iranians' attention. It's not like they didn't, like once upon a time capture an entire embassy staff. All right, for over a year, where a feckless president demanded the release.
Yeah.
All right, and then release them prior to the new upcoming president, who had sworn to end the situation his way.
Yep.
No, that didn't occur. No. The French government condemns these baseless arrests, a statement said. It did not identify the pair, but the head of the French Education Union said an employee and her husband had gone missing while on holiday in Iran. On holiday! What better place to take a holiday? Let's go to a vacation spot. Iran sounds good this time of year. Am I missing something here?
Oh.
Can somebody tells me?
Stunning.
Look, I can understand people taking a vacation to visit relatives. And maybe that's what the case is here. I don't know. All right.
Yeah.
But you have to understand what's at stake here. You have to understand what's going to happen to you if you wander and meander on over into Iran. Okay?
Look, I know that there's no way France will do this, but this is how you do it. Hi, Ayatollah, give them back or else. Or what? Goodbye, Tehran. Boom! Hi, give them back. They were in Tehran. Well, that's your problem, not mine. Boom!
TC, yeah, I hear Afghanistan's particularly good this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
especially for women.
Such a safe place.
You know, where the Taliban is busy sitting up there and ignoring all the promises that they made early on about educating women and everything and putting them in burqas.
Yeah, I have heard that you should go to Kiev. Apparently, it's really pretty.
It's like beautiful butterflies floating up in the air. It's like fireworks every night.
Exactly. They're just celebrating, that's all.
Look, the French are well known for building things in the Middle East against the will of the international community.
Mm-hmm.
They are also known for building things in the Middle East against the international community in a subpar manner. Okay? I'm just putting it out there. Just letting people know. Okay? What their reputation is around the region. Right? In fact, Kuwait still has a lawsuit running against them, all right, for back in the Gulf War, the first Gulf War. That stems that far back. All right. We're gonna, for the squeamish, I think this whole cancer thing is really making me snarky, but meh. Yeah, we'll get well soon.
Yeah.
Maddie, we're praying for you. We really are. And
oh, yeah.
And you can beat this, right? Don't think that you can't at any point in time. This is definitely something that I've seen people beat in the past. All right. But good luck to you. All right. And like I said, just stay strong and keep going. I know that you're in pain and it hurts, but I think that's endemic to people living today. That people in pain and it hurt. As a matter of fact.
Yep.
All right. It's going to come to us all. Hi, Susan. Good afternoon or good morning, depending upon what time of the day it is for there. France, release our people, or Iran. No, France, please.
For you. Okay, now.
Man, he's freaking killing me today.
It's a good one. I gotta love that one. You know how the Iranians have got a little bit of an issue about eating pork? Am I correct?
That's true.
What about long pork? Just a suggestion. Just, Jenson, I'm trying to help.
Jenson, we have plenty of other stories that we can bring in your favorite fetish.
Okay, just a thought. Just trying to help, mate.
Let's go on to a different story. Horrifying moment. Russian troops gunned down and killed 2 unarmed Ukrainian men after asking them for cigarettes and then loot their office. A group of Russian soldiers gunned down 2 defenseless Ukrainian citizens. Well, okay, I don't know if they asked them for smokes or whatever, but the only video they show is this one, all right? And it's pretty doggone graphic, right? Where these 2 guys are just meandering away. All right, and then these guys come up and shoot them both in the back. Okay? Now, the problem that I have with this story, right, is we are hearing this secondhand. Did the Russians come back and say, yeah, we asked them for cigarettes and then we shot them in the back of the head? Maybe some Russians said that. I don't know. Right? In which case, it's like, okay, yeah, you guys committed a war crime. All right? But in war, if there's a war zone, this is not a police action, all right? This is not, hey, stop or I'll shoot, which they may or may not have shouted. We have no idea here, right? Mm-hmm. We have no idea even if the Ukrainians would have understood them speaking in Russian anyway, because Ukrainian isn't the same as Russian. Now, many of them are fluent in both, but that doesn't mean that everybody is, okay? But unfortunately, when you're dealing with these kind of situations, this is a war zone, okay? It's very easy to be mistaken for the enemy. And I know people want to keep using this term. They use it again and again and again. Civilians. All right? Well, I hate to tell you this, but Ukrainian civilians have picked up guns and shot at the Russian soldiers. And And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with the Ukrainians defending themselves. Okay, that's not what I'm saying here. But by the same token, to claim that these people are, well, they're just civilians, enough. All right, it's a war. Learn what war is. This is not a police action. This is not, oh, we're going to arrest you. Okay, this is war, and war is ugly. It's really ugly, folks. And you're not going to make it cleaner, bitching and whining. Oh, they shot him in the back. Oh, they were innocent. Shut the hell up. If you're not willing to put put the uniform on and go out there and serve in that situation, then shut the F up and stay out of the friggin' way. That's how I feel about it. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh. You know?
Not as far as I'm concerned, mate.
Ukrainians defended themselves from Russians is the ultimate. Get out of our yard! It is. She's not wrong.
I will remind you of a certain person that actually had the get off my lawn as the startup, didn't they? Do you remember that person?
There was a former individual that used to exist on YouTube that had that as get off my yard, get out of my yard.
I wonder what happened. Oh, what a shame.
It was a bit too belligerent for certain individuals, so he got banned. I can tell you exactly. I can tell you exactly what happened. He got overly belligerent about things. Started asking too many questions.
I'm shocked.
Too many questions. I love this next story. Susan Collins calls cops over polite abortion message chalked outside her home.
Yeah.
Intricately drawn message urging Republican senator to back reproductive rights bill was not a crime, say the police in Maine. A Republican U.S. senator called local police to investigate a pro-abortion rights but otherwise harmless message. How do you know it's otherwise harmless? All right, written in chalk in front of her home, according to authorities. Now, I don't know. This is The Guardian, so you guys in the UK may not realize this. But in the United States, people consider chalk drawings on the road to be possible graffiti and defacement of property. Did you know that?
Yeah. Funny enough, so do we.
Right? So, yeah, it could be considered a crime. Damn, can't get the grammar. Maddie, you're in rare form, Maddie. It's too bad. You know, if you want to join us, Maddie, feel free to jump on in. Right? And if for some reason you can't get in, just let me know. We'll bring you on. You're more than welcome.
Actually, one thing she said there, it's called taking host to a stupid chalk. She is so right.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
Right? I don't disagree. But I wasn't the one being arrested for drawing chalk. Just letting it be known, right? The chalk art, described in a police report as intricately drawn and a non-threatening, read Susie. Kind of familiar, doesn't it? A little familiar tone there. We're not calling her Susan. We're going to call her Susie. All right. Mainers want WHIPA or WHPA. Vote yes. Well, I got a question for you, all you Mainers. If you want that, why don't you pass it? Why are you asking someone in the federal government? You realize you have a state. You realize you have a state legislature. You could have already passed this law even before an abortion ruling comes out. You could already guarantee it, you Mainers.
They probably want to get rid of states because that's not enough government for them. Come on.
I used to process juvenile complaints for drawing on our sidewalks. Susan's out there. Yeah, I'm the police. Rubbing my hands together. We're on the little... I'm joking. It's a joke, Susan. I'm just joking. All right. But at least they're not shouting threats at her doorstep like they were doing to the judges. Right?
True. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
you might want to actually change that to not yet.
well, look, Susan Collins is. I've gotten into arguments with several of my more conservative friends, and yes, there are people more conservative than I am, by large measures, folks. Just to let you know. But I've gotten into arguments about who Susan Collins is with them, right? Susan Collins, whether you agree with her or disagree with her, in my experiences in traveling around this country, does a good job representing people from Maine. Just to say that she's nothing but she's a typical person from Maine. She really is, in my opinion, right? There's nothing abnormal about her, right? Doesn't mean I agree with her. Doesn't mean I even like her. But she fits Maine, and she represents who they are. Can't argue too much about that. I can argue that it shouldn't be that way for a different reason, but that's because, in my opinion, the Senate should never be representing the people. The Senate should be representing the state, but that's a separate issue. That's me being a little too literal with the situation. On to the next story. And we need to leave the planet for this one. Scientists detect the biggest extraterrestrial earthquake ever. A magnitude 5 Mars quake was recorded last week on Mars by so far the strongest tremor ever detected off Earth. A robot on Mars has detected the biggest earthquake ever felt on another planet, a Martian tremor that reached a magnitude 5 on a Richter scale, according to a statement issued on Monday from JPL. The record-breaking Marsquake not only demonstrates geological activity on Mars, but also opens a window into the mysterious interior of the planet. Unless the earthquake opened up a cavern or a crevice. The first time a robot ever shat itself. Right? Unless it opened up a cavern, you're not seeing anything deep in the Earth and Mars. I'm sorry. Right? It is something that's interesting because according to all the data that had been done previously, everyone assumed that the Martian surface would not be geologically active. Okay, that is an issue now because now they're like, maybe there's still more, to the planet's geography than we know as far as deeper down. It was assumed that the entire interior of the planet was dead. Okay, that at one time it had a molten core very similar to what they believe is at the center of our planet, and that it has long since cooled to the point where there's no activity there. Well, a Mars quake could be an indication that yes, there's still some kind of internal heat being generated at the core of Mars. It's impossible to know, right? We'd really have to drill down deep to find out. Okay, but it would be an interesting experience. What did you guys do?
Oh, we're just having fun. First of all, if Batman was here, he'd blame you for all of this, don't you?
Well, Batman blames me for everything.
It's the best thing.
I will admit that both good and bad, but it tends to be bad. But he does blame me for good stuff.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, know exactly caused this. Would you like to know what caused this?
Certainly, sir.
Aliens.
Aliens?
It was aliens.
Or aliens.
It was aliens.
Aliens to us or aliens to Mars?
Well, I'd love to blame the Mexicans. I'm just saying, but no, I'm actually gonna go for it's part of the Martian invasion plan. Just watch out for that green flare coming from Mars.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. Look out for the green flare. All right.
Let's see how many people get that reference.
Let's return to Earth. Chef Mario Batali cleared of groping women in a sexual misconduct case. Okay. I don't know who Chef Bartali is, all right? I don't watch that many cooking shows. In fact, I really don't watch cooking shows. If one comes on, it's because my daughter or my wife has decided to put one on, which they do far too often, right? Just to let you know. Mario Batali on Tuesday was cleared of charges that he groped a woman at a Boston bar, an important victory for the celebrity chef who fell from grace after multiple allegations of sexual impropriety surfaced. The Boston Municipal Court Judge James Stanton found the chef, who waived his right to a trial by jury, all right, not guilty of indecent battery and assault after a criminal trial that lasted less than 2 days. Well, I wonder if that meant lasted less than 2 minutes, because the way lawyers work. Oh yeah, we got to make a ruling here. I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yep.
We were just there for 2 minutes. 10 a.m. Okay, we'll let you go. Just put it on.
Yeah.
Batali's lawyer, Anthony Fuller, effectively convinced Stanton of his client's innocence after going lengths to discredit his accuser, Natalie Tene. All right, it's an understatement to say that Mr. Batali did not cover himself in glory on the night in question. All right, his conduct and his appearance and his demeanor were not befitting a public person of his stature at the time, the judge said before announcing his decision. But ultimately, this case is about credibility, the judge said, and Tenney has significant credibility issues. Okay, now why am I doing this story? Because most of it sounds like you don't even know who the hell this guy is, which is true. I have no idea who this guy is or anything else. If they say that this guy's a public figure, well, okay, I'll assume that that's accurate. I honestly don't know.
Well,
Right. But the thing has always been, if it comes to a he said, she said situation and there's no other evidence, how do you convict somebody of a crime that no one else witnessed? All right, when there's no other evidence. Now, there could be other evidence, circumstantial type evidence that feeds into this, right? But if it comes down to this person's word over that person's word, all right, unless, like the judge said, there's a credibility issue. All right, let's assume that Bartali, the credibility of this woman, all right, was pristine, right? Which,
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, in this one regard, I kind of agree with Omegon. She was making the case. She was making the accusation. Her name should never have been brought up. All right?
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, okay? Because according to what they're doing here, she's the victim, right? There's no reason to name her as the victim, all right? But back to, in the story, in essence, when they talk about this woman's credibility, okay, if she doesn't have any credibility, then regardless of what you consider his credibility or not, you have to sit up there and decide that, you know, there's no reason to determine that he's lying, all right, or that a criminal activity occurred. Now, maybe he did grope her. I don't know, okay? But it feeds into this story, too, as much as I despise this guy, and I do. I despise this guy. This guy's an asshole, okay? Comedian Andy Dick arrested at an L.A. area campsite after a reported sexual assault, okay? Authorities in Southern California have arrested actor and comedian Andy Dick after a man said he was sexually assaulted at a campground in the mountainsides of south of Los Angeles. The incident occurred in Orange County on Wednesday, the sheriff's office said. Deputies got a call from the man who reported the assault at a campsite near Santa Ana Mountains, they added. Dick, 56, was arrested on suspicion of sexual battery when the deputies arrived to investigate. Prosecutors have not filed charges yet in the case by late Wednesday, but Dick is being held in Orange County Jail in lieu of $25,000 bond. Now, how do you already have a bond hearing when you haven't presented a case? Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Andy Dick, appropriate. He always acts like his namesake. All right, so I have a problem, first of all, with the fact that you're holding him on $25,000 bond when you haven't charged him with anything. What do you mean you haven't charged him with anything? All right. Authorities were expected to give an update Thursday on possible charges. Dick has been arrested on a number of occasions before. In 1999, he was charged with a drug offense after he drove his car into a power pole and 5 years later he was charged with indecent exposure at a Los Angeles area fast food restaurant. Put the Whopper here! You want to see a Whopper? The actor was in fact... All right. He was arrested on groping charges in separate cases in 2010 and 2018 and faced theft charges in 2014 for allegedly stealing a necklace. Okay, now, the thing is what evidence do you have against this guy? All right? I don't like this jerk. Right? But if you don't have any evidence, Romanette, Maddie, you're killing me. If you don't have any evidence, I mean, how can you charge him with anything? But I do have a problem. Like I said, my biggest problem here is you're holding him on $25,000 bond, and you haven't even presented charges. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, you Jenson, you said earlier that you didn't know who this guy was, right?
I vaguely remember hearing the name, but it's so inconsequential.
Right.
For have memory, it really is.
Well, he was a stand-up comedian that was also on one of the TV shows. I'm trying to remember the name. They were at a radio station. It wasn't WKRP in Cincinnati. It was a different show about a radio station, and that's where he became popular. A popular name, a well-known name, right?
Okay.
But the guy, he's one of these people that fell into drugs and in whatever lifestyle the Hollywood elite deal with, right? And it basically ruined him. That's my opinion. But the guy's namesake is exactly what Natty said. His namesake fits him. It really does. Right?
Yeah.
Shall we meander on? I think we shall.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should.
All right. From the U.S. Sun, as opposed to the UK Sun. Gunned down, Israeli troops accused of assassinating U.S. Al Jazeera journalist in the West Bank raid, but Israel blames Palestinian gunfire. Right. Israel has been accused of assassinating a U.S. Al Jazeera journalist shot dead while reporting from the West Bank. Shireen Abu Akleh, was covering unrest in the Jenin refugee camp when she was killed, and Israel has claimed it was likely Palestinian gunfire that killed her. Okay, but Qatar-based television channel said Israeli forces shot Abdul Akleh deliberately and in cold blood. The Israeli occupation forces assassinated in cold blood. The Al Jazeera's correspondent in Palestine said Al Jazeera. It called on the international community to hold the Israeli forces accountable for their intentional targeting and killing of a journalist. Okay. Now, I'm going to be real blunt here. If this person was an American journalist, okay, and let's say the CBS journalist, and the Palestinian authorities came out with their little terrorist masks on and their arms and everything to carry her coffin down the street, I would say the same thing I'm going to say right now. She was not acting as a journalist. She was acting as a terrorist mouthpiece. Good riddance. Okay? This is not somebody that's a journalist trying to tell you the truth of what's going on. No, she's part of the propaganda network of an evil group of people that enjoys putting bombs on the chests of 5-year-old children and sending them into Israeli schools to blow up or buses to blow them up.
Hold it. Are you saying that Al Jazeera are a propaganda group?
Well,
I'm shocked.
I guess you could say that of all the media groups if you really want to get down to it. But these guys these guys are not innocent. The Palestinians are not. I'm just a wallflower, just trying to live my life and being peaceful. That's not who they are. That's not what the situation is. And I'm not excusing Israel. But when you're in a war situation, when you're on a war footing, and you're a supposed journalist, but you only seem to be you're such a journalist that they feel important, that the terrorists feel it's so important to help carry your coffin or your dead body around as they walk through the streets, and we have pictures of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that I'm shocked. I tell you. shocked. I say. Right? I'm just putting it out there. Just putting it out there, okay?
Yeah.
All right. And Manny, if you're shocked by this story, if you were shocked by this next story is probably going to even become more of a shock in a different manner, of course.
Oh, dude, come on. If there's any story that's going to produce shock, it's that last one, and you know it.
Well, the last one is just confusing.
Interesting.
Okay. Believe me, this story is more shocking than the last one will be. Fans have decided that The Last Jedi is a pretty good Star Wars movie after all. By David James. Hey, David. Hey, Dave. Can I call you Dave? Do you mind if I call you Dave? Dave, honestly. You got this one wrong, dude. I don't know where you're trying this one. Dave, you got the... Dave. This isn't Hal telling you this. Man. I'm not Hal, man. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. It's difficult to understand how much anger the Star Wars The Last Jedi generated. No, it's not. Or excuse me, not understand. I said understand. Understate. Okay? Yeah, I think that would be... No, because it is as easy to understate it. They do it all the time. Oh, they don't really hate it. How many times were we told people don't really hate The Last Jedi? Oh, yes, they do.
Oh, yeah.
Rian Johnson, all right, hugely anticipated sequel. Who anticipated it? I don't know if it was... I think they used that word, hugely anticipated. I think they missed that word for dread.
Yes. So do I.
It was fiercely dreaded, and with good reason.
Yeah.
Right? Was praised by critics. Really?
No.
Which critics praised it? Can you give me the... there were critics that praised it, I know, but they were part of the Hollywood set. They were not part of the average guy that was watching a movie, right? Siskel and Ebert were not full of praise for this. And I realize they're not a thing anymore. And they weren't a thing then. I'm just putting it out there, right? But pilloried by fans upset with the disrespectful treatment of Luke Skywalker. It wasn't just because of the disrespectful treatment of Luke Skywalker. It was the whole premise was stupid.
Yep.
The whole thing.
I want you to know Maddie is on rare form today. She really is.
If you watch the movie after you take your braids out, it might not be bad. Who am I kidding? It just sucked.
Yep. Oh. Ow.
We have a Florida story already. It's upcoming. And it involves human waste. As well as animal waste as well. Maddie's in touch with a Crescent side of her. She's psychic. It's almost like she's psychic.
Isn't it?
Let's be perfectly honest here, folks. There's no freaking way that people liked The Last Jedi. Right?
No.
They may have liked it better than The Last Skywalker. But that's not saying they liked it. Okay?
Yeah.
Nothing Rian Johnson, however you going to say his name. Can you give me anything that you like from Rian Johnson?
Chlamydia?
Chlamydia? I cannot think of a single movie
Nor can I actually. But
that I actually liked. All right, from this Jackass. Okay, I
uh,
was not a fan of the new reboot of Star Wars. I thought it was just absolute trash. Okay,
oh yeah,
and it's not because of the problem that they had is they thought, and they still think, somewhere in the minds of Hollywood elitists, I don't know what it is, they think that they can put up special effects and that special effects will make a movie. It will not.
yeah, no,
Okay, it won't. If you're not telling a new story or you're not telling an interesting story, all right, in any way, shape, or form, people aren't going to like it. I would
yeah.
like Ryan to shut up and retire. I would like him then.
That's a fair statement.
No, well, that might be true, Maddie, because Maddie's a good, kind-hearted woman. Because I probably still wouldn't like him even after that.
Fair point.
I thought his name was Riyadh. You're right, Maddie is a good fish. He's in reform today.
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it.
Now, Maddie, just to let you know, this next story is not to give you ideas. Because I think she could effectively pull this off if she had wanted to. It's not saying anything about Maddie's character. All right? Sextortionists are increasingly targeting young men for money. The outcome can be deadly. Really?
Yeah. Hold it. Look at that creature's face and you tell me that does not class as deadly. I mean, honestly, you woke up next to that in the morning, you are going to chew your own arm off rather than wake that up. Let's be fair.
Right.
That's hideous.
The problem is she's probably already sewed you in the bed. That's so you couldn't get away.
Dude, if you told me that was a bloke, I'd actually believe you.
Yeah, they wouldn't give up, and he felt that he had no choice but to do it to protect his family, one mother said, after an internet blackmailers targeted her son and he took his own life. So, okay. All right. Pauline Stewart holds up a portrait of her son, Ryan. Hey, it's spelled correctly. Imagine that. All right, who died by suicide in February after an extortionate threatened to post compromising pictures of him on the internet. Internet blackmailers are increasingly duping young men and boys into sending them as sexually explicit content, all right, online by posing as young girls on social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram, then escorting them in a scheme known as sextortion. And dozens of these cases have ended up with victims taking their own lives, police and child advocates told NBC News. Don't post nudes.
Yep.
Okay? Don't take nudes of yourself.
It's a subtle thing.
Okay.
People might not work this out.
I don't know if people understand this, but the vast majority of the world do not look like bronze Adonises. All right? I don't care when you're 16 and you think that you're full of testosterone and everything else. There are very few people who look like bronze Adonises. Very, very few. Ask the girls next to you. Trust me. It'll be a humbling experience. Okay? Do you remember it wasn't too long ago when people were on social media posting their faces up so that other people could give them ratings like 1 through 10, right? And then people were committing suicide when they got bad ratings. That's when your clothes were on. Taking your clothes off does not mean you're going to get any better looking. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'd like to do something rather unusual. From Shirati, you sure that isn't B trying to be ugly? Even B couldn't look that ugly. I mean,
look, this is a mother of a grieving mother of a child. Give her a break. All right?
I am.
Oh, jeez.
I really am. If you told me that was a father, I would still be okay with it.
She has some masculine features, I will admit that, but that it's not. You're being a bit hard here. The FBI is receiving an increasing number of reports of adults posing as young girls, coercing young boys through social media to produce sexual images and videos, then extorting money from them, the FBI warning said. Dozens of boys have reported being victims of sextortion, mostly for money, although others were reportedly sextorted for additional images, the agency said. One of those victims was 17-year-old Ryan last year, who lives near San Jose, California. He died by suicide in February after an extortionist threatening to post compromising pictures of him on the internet was demanding more and more money from the teen, his mother, Pauline Stewart, said. They wouldn't give up, and he felt like he had no choice but to do it to protect his family. He loved us so much that he wanted to protect us from the mistake that he had made. Look, folks, I know this big pressure to give people freaking cell phones with cameras and do all this. Now, I come from a different generation, I'll be honest with you. All right, we didn't have this kind of technology, but I don't think I would have ever been taking pictures of myself in the nude for anyone anyway. Right? No one is going to be doing that. Nobody. Right? Nobody should be. Let me rephrase that. Nobody should be doing that. And it shows you just how depraved our society has become that we're doing this kind of ridiculousness. Right?
Uh-huh.
The majority of youth today don't even know what it means.
Yeah.
All right. We're not becoming a better society because you're wandering around nude. Okay? You're not. And you're not impressing anybody. I don't know where this whole idea came from. I don't even understand why anyone would even think that this is a good idea. Okay?
Right.
And I understand it isn't just that the younger generation, all right, per se, because you have athletes that are in their 50s and 40s that were doing this stupid shit, right? There's celebrities that are doing this kind of shit. Look, don't do it. If you get a phone and somebody's asking you for nude pictures of yourself, don't give it to them. I don't even care if you think if this person's your boyfriend or your girlfriend, right? And you know who they are. Don't do it. Don't do stupid things like that. Because there's absolutely no way, okay, you can guarantee your safety. That the safety of those pictures are guaranteed. There's no way to do that. There's no way there's no way you can guarantee that those things at some point won't become public.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. Most parents have stopped being nosy and nosing what their children are up to on their devices. If parents were more involved, a lot of this could have been avoided. I don't disagree with you, all right? But the problem with parents today is they've been told you don't want to be a parent to your child. You want to be your child's friend. All right? You don't want to actually discipline your children. And for some people, discipline is, did you do this? You were bad. And the child breaks down crying and swears never to do it again because they feel so bad about that they've upset their parents. There are children like that. Then there's children. Yeah. Then there was ones like me. Ones that would go up to mom and dad and say, oh yeah, what are you going to do about it? And if it wasn't idea. And if it wasn't followed by a, I guess nothing was the next comment that was coming out of my mouth. Right? Which it certainly would live up to a... Okay? I'm just letting you know. All right? When it comes to children and what kind of child I was rotten. Oh. I know my parents were like, God, why did you give us the child of Satan? I know there were days that they were saying that in church. All right, I could be absolutely, because I had a very simple philosophy. If you weren't going to put any kind of physical restrictions on me, if there wasn't any kind of physical consequence in it, there was no limit to what I was going to do. If you weren't going to try to stop me, and I had this philosophy when I was 10. I remember it distinctly.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that was the first time that I remember actually going, you know what? If they're not physically going to stop me, I wonder what will happen here if I do this and they don't physically stop me. Let's try this. Well,
Yeah.
they physically stopped me, just so you understand.
Yeah.
Like I said, there are children that all you have to do is just look at them and they break down crying because they're upset because they know that they disappointed you. Then there's those that are like me. What? just, just, just letting letting people know.
I'm saying nothing because I'm innocent.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's to me. I think that sounded kind of familiar, didn't it, Jenson?
Come on, if you weren't getting slapped, you weren't doing a good enough job, and you know it.
Well, well. It means
Am I wrong?
it depends on whether if you didn't get a slap or a spank, it meant that you didn't get caught.
No, that's actually fair. But that's the point. You didn't try not to get caught. You just go up to their faces and say it. That's my point.
That's a separate issue. That's Jensen Blue. Next story.
Maggie understands. Me good zom. Me never do nothing wrong.
Man died from heart attack while burying woman he strangled, the South Carolina deputies say. Can we
This
say...
still kills me. It's hilarious.
A 60-year-old man who strangled his girlfriend died of a heart attack while burying her body in the South Carolina backyard, investigators said. Deputies found Joseph Anthony McKinnon's body Saturday after neighbors called and reported an unconscious man in a yard in Trenton, the Edgefield County's Sheriff's Office said in a statement. As they investigated McKinnon's death, deputies found a body wrapped in a trash bag in a freshly dug hole and determined that it was his girlfriend, Patricia Ruth Dent, 65, investigators said. An autopsy on Dent determined that she had been strangled, and neighbors told officers they saw McKinnon digging a hole in his yard the day before. An autopsy of McKinnon determined that he died of a heart attack. Deputies said it appeared that he was nearly done filling the grave when he set the shovel down, walked away, and collapsed.
Karma. Just saying.
That's God. That's God sitting there saying, not yet. Not yet. Let him think he's getting away. Smite button. You're done.
Yep.
That's what that one is.
I'm totally okay with that.
Oh my goodness. Hey Tony, you think you think you're getting away with this, don't you, Tony? You keep on digging, dumbass. Oh, you think you're getting away with it? Can you just picture? Like I said, God turns into Earth like a comedy channel. Right? He's got the whole universe. It's on his back. He's for 6 days. He's just busting his ass, making sure everything keeps going the way it needs to be going, rather than collapsing in on itself like a lot of stupid physicists keep talking about, all right, or blowing up like other physicists talk about all the time. God is sitting there going, no, we're not going to let the universe. It's quite the chore. Finally, I can take some rest. He goes back to his lazy boy, kicks up his feet, clicks on the comedy channel with the stupid hairless monkeys. All right.
Yep.
Gets his popcorn bottle. Has Jesus sit next to him. Like, watch this one.
Yep.
Look, this guy thinks he's getting away with it. Watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. 2 stories left, folks. Just 2 stories left. Wildlife group warns of drunk deer in France. Are the deer hitting the wine? What the hell?
Wouldn't you rather be drunk than be in France? So obviously they've worked on the idea. damn it, we're stuck here. Let's get drunk quick.
Why'd they just stop it at the nearest frickin' cafe?
Yes,
I
TC.
mean,
Oh dear.
Wildlife experts in Normandy region of France are warning members of the public to beware of an unusual problem: drunk deer running amok. Are they sure that these aren't just English tourists? Or are we positive of this?
No, not really. I'll be completely honest.
The 30 Million Friends Foundation. What? The 30 Million Friends Foundation, a French animal rescue group. Why would you name yourself 30 Million Friends?
You're that desperate to get one?
Alright, said deer in Normandy have been known to overindulge this time of year in spring buds that are loaded with sugar that ferments in the animals' stomachs, making them drunk in the same way as if they consumed alcohol. So basically, nom 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 nom. Ooh, dude.
Nice.
I always thought it was meth bears. that they must have been eating hippies. Maybe they were just eating the wrong kind of deer. The Association pour la Protection des Animaux Savages, Sauvage, or ASPAS.
Dude, one sec. From Susan. New meaning to stag parties. That's terrible, hon. I love it.
All right. Warned hikers and drivers to beware of potential encounters with intoxicated deer. The group warned members of the public to keep a safe distance from any deer that appears to be acting strangely. Firefighters in Rouen, I don't know how to say that. I'm just going to butcher. This is something that I'm quite well known for. Manny will testify. I can't get a freaking foreign name right, and it has to be foreign to me, which is what language do I speak? I speak me. Right? Rescued a deer May 3rd that fell into the Seine River while apparently intoxicated, and rescuers were recently called to rescue a deer in Vernon, which was found in an intoxicated state in a garden near the town center. Can I ask a question?
Right.
Doesn't this sound like, if you put a bullet in his head, you have already, freshly prepared venison?
I'm actually totally okay with this concept. It is quite literally pre-pickled. I mean, wow.
Excuse me, Doe. We need a sobriety test. I live in France. Carry on there. You can't
Just right.
No, I'm not going to deny that. I butcher the human language every time. It doesn't matter which one. Okay. Final story of the day, folks. Just remember, these are true stories. I don't make these stories up. If I do a story like the Babylon Bee, I tell you it's a parody site. Okay?
Yeah, this isn't. This is actually true.
Right?
Go on.
Are we ready?
No.
Victim doused with urine due to pooping chicken.
No, he's not joking.
May 10th, angered by a neighbor's chicken that had been pooping on the back patio, a Florida woman, told you we'd be doing another Florida story, alright, allegedly retrieved a bucket of pee from her bathroom and proceeded to abuse the bird's odor with the foul liquid, according to an affidavit.
Oh, that's right away, there's a really bad joke there. The foul liquid, really? Really? They're going with that joke? Wow.
I did not write the story. Whole new pissing mad. Police busted Christine Tierman, 57, on a misdemeanor battery charge following a confrontation late Sunday evening at the Palm Haven Mobile Home Park in St. Petersburg. What did I tell you about St. Petersburg?
Yeah.
St. Petersburg lately is more than quickly replacing Miami as the place of some of the strangest people that are incarcerated. All right. Cops said that Turman, seen at the right, was mad at the victim Lawrence Stenzel due to his chicken pooping on the back patio. So 10 men went inside, got a bucket of pee from her bathroom, walked out onto the back patio, and threw a full bucket of pee at Stenzel. The bucket struck Stenzel. So when they say threw a bucket of pee, they don't mean toss the liquid. They mean threw the whole freaking thing at him.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh my goodness. The bucket struck Stenzel in the face, causing him pain, noted the sheriff's deputy, who added that the victim was wet when he arrived and smelled of urine. The arrest report does not indicate why Tierman had a bucket of waste at the ready. Tierman reportedly admitted to her actions after being read her rights. Deputy Levi Blake reported that Tierman was booked into county jail, from which she was released yesterday after posting a $500 bond. Tierman's boyfriend, Kevin Avery, 59, was also arrested for allegedly threatening Stenzel in the presence of police. Now, look, when the police show up, if you go, I'm still going to go kick his ass, you're an idiot. Okay.
Yes.
You might as well be you might as well be putting your hands out for the bracelets that you're going to get when you come back. I'm going to kick your freaking, I'm going to beat you within an inch of your life. Why are you putting handcuffs on me? You're a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, people are getting dumber and dumber and dumber all the time. Speaking of which, I don't know.
It's impressive.
I don't know if people have been on the road recently, like taking cars and driving around more because of the COVID thing. But ever since COVID, all right, the lockdowns, people have gotten back from the lockdowns. Mm-hmm. I've noticed the inability of people to drive. It is getting more and more dangerous. I had a jackass today, all right, literally with a turn signal blinking, right, ready for him to go, green turn signal, because I was trying to turn as well right behind him. Stop in the middle of the road. Right in front of me with a green turn signal because he wasn't sure if he should go because on the other side of the road, a person was walking against the light.
Wow.
Right? You just want to reach out and just go, come here. Give me those keys. Right? Because you shouldn't be driving anymore. Yep. I swear to God, people have gotten dumber and dumber on the streets. They really freaking have. And you see it in the who keeps a bucket of pee ready?
Yeah.
All right, and which leads to the next question. Okay, if a chicken is pooping on your yard, right? There's a solution for this.
Yes.
It's called 410. Bang! Look, chicken dinner. Okay?
Yep.
The guy won't let his chicken in your property anymore. Just point it out there. Okay?
Not so much click, click, boom. There's cluck, cluck, boom.
I can understand. I can understand why the guys get upset about the damn freaking chicken, shitting all over his shit. But there's a fix for
Actually,
this.
Maddie's right. It's free fertilizer. What's the problem?
I'm not interested in the fertilizer. I am interested in the dinner, though. And it's not like it's very far away, either.
Huh?
The Dead Poultry Society. Oh, my God. You know what? This chicken is pooping in my yard. You know what I'm going to do to get back at the guy? I'm going to throw a bucket of piss on him and threaten him in front of the cops. Yeah, that'll show him.
Yeah. Genius.
You could have just had a dinner. You could
Yeah.
have done a nice, had a dinner.
I
They're
don't
supposed to
even
eat.
know what to say.
They're supposed to eat ticks. I don't care if they're supposed to eat. Do you think that they are you trying to tell me something here, Susan? Are you trying to tell me that this family here of that threw the bucket of piss was full of ticks? Is that what you're trying to say? Why a 410 when it's why? No, I can understand that, but many people don't find that disgusting. All right, many people find the actual popping the head off with their hands disgusting. Okay.
Why?
And I think the 410 does one more thing. It announces the fact that your chicken's dead. All right.
Sure.
Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there.
Mm-mm.
All right, that's all I got for now. Do you have a story, Jensen, you would like to bring to us?
No, I think we pretty much detailed everything that ever needs to be said, especially with that final story.
Okay.
In that case, thank you very much for doing the news, Nomad. That was something. I don't know quite what it was, but it was definitely something. And thank you for coming and listening to us, people. It may or may not get worse next time. I have no idea. Who knows? Goodbye, everybody.
Enjoy the day, everybody. Bye bye.